Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. As you hear, the Pro 1000 is performing its little post-print purge unit cleaning. It's not a cleaning cycle, it's just basically sucking away any residue that it built up during the print job that I just performed. Now, this is something I normally don't do, but I wanted to demonstrate something to you guys because someone's been having some problems with a certain kind of paper. They didn't say which type of paper or what surface it was at all. So anyway, what happened was not what I'm going to show you here. This is a perfect rendition of an edge-to-edge print. Now remember, this has assisted vacuum advance, so it will help in keeping the paper nice and flat. But on a regular type printer without that option, you could possibly have the trailing edge rising up a little bit and then causing the printhead to strike it and literally physically shifting the paper out of position. In other words, it will no longer be running parallel to the paper travel. What you will end up, if you're printing borderless, which I recommend you don't do. Okay, I know you guys love borderless, but let me tell you, it's full of problems that can sometimes crop up and basically ruin your results. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as I go along with this explanation here. But anyway, as you can see, I just loaded an image that was more rectangular in shape than the 8x10 paper that I'm using. So I told it to print to the edge. I'm using borderless. It gave me a bunch of warnings that I refused to read like most. Actually, no, I did read them. It did warn me that this is going to cause image expansion because the image has to be extended beyond the physical edges of the paper, so that if there are any errors, which of course there are, in the positioning of the paper, at least with the expansion, I will be able to, sort of guarantee that I will not end up with a silly little, hair with white border, which can happen. It could be from a millimeter, maybe a little bit more, and maybe you're lucky and it will not. Some people think that they can actually crop their image to say 8x10 or 4x5 ratio and then proceed to make a borderless print and think they're not going to get any cropping, extra cropping. Of course you will. The edges have to be beyond the paper's edges. Your image edges have to extend beyond the paper's edges so that you end up with a borderless print. In this case, I did not tell it to do that, so I ended up with the long end being cropped off, about 1/8 of an inch on either side actually. So what we're looking for is any kind of edge problem. And the reason that happens, and the reason you get that warning, of course, is referring to printers that do not have vacuum advance, or you're not printing on roll. Like on my P800, I'm continually printing on a roll of paper. There's no problem with what I am about to disclose to you guys. When the paper comes out, and there's also some things that I'm going to talk about that I just scratch my head because why do printer designers continue to do this? I'll tell you what that is in a sec. As the paper emerges, and I'm going to actually take a minute off and I'm going to go ahead and start a new print after I explain to you what I do to solve or at least alleviate this possibility of a problem taking place. Now, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate because I'm not going to open up this printer to show you the interior. You can do that on your own printer. As the print emerges through the front platen, very thin, almost like an aluminum shape part with lots of little rollers, as it emerges out, okay, the rear of the paper is being supported, so it's okay. Now, if you have a problem with any kind of corner raising basically up, in other words, here's the print head. It's about to enter. Remember, prints are made upside down to what you see on your driver. So they actually emerge leading edge first. So this would be on a portrait type image. This would be the top of the print. As it is emerging, if the corner is raised a little bit, or if you have paper that's just naturally curly, Those of you who cut paper from a roll, beware about that. Beware of that. You better make sure that at least the corners of the leading edge, if they're going to curl in any direction, it's better that they curl down a little bit, or at least get them as flat as you possibly can. Notice how this paper just kind of folds in this direction and not in this direction. Papers have grain, directional grain, just like wood does. It bends very easily in this direction, but it does not bend so easily in this direction, okay? So you got to be aware of that as well. Now, what will happen? The head will strike that edge, okay? It will physically touch the bottom plate, the nozzle plate, and will present you with a beautiful little black smudge. Okay, that's what will happen. You need to maintain a gap. There's a certain gap of so many mils, and that is maintained throughout the printing process. That is, of course, part of the system to make sure that your droplets land in a specific position and they do not spread. The spray pattern does not spread or contract. So you got to maintain that plating gap correctly. If the paper is curling upwards a little bit, it will get hit by the print head. It could actually harm the print head, so beware of that. Also, of course, the most common effect will be a smudge. Once the paper extends beyond where the print head is located or traveling, then you're okay. That's why every time, pretty much 100% of the time, you see smudges, it'll be on the leading edge or the trailing edge, and the trailing edge is even worse. If you get one in the middle, okay, and that's rare because it depends on the type of paper. I had some paper that was very, very porous. In other words, the areas here that are very dark, that means a lot of ink is landing on that area there. And it would cause the paper to get extra wet. And it would buckle, which way? Up. And it would get struck by the print head. It's as if the paper not being flat, but it would more look like a bunch of dunes in the beach or the desert. So the passing of the printhead basically was rubbing across these little high areas, high zones, or areas that buckled up due to ink application, which is, the normal density of ink that you would normally need for that paper. It was too much. So anyway, it can happen, but it's rare. Now, the main problem, and this is why I'm going to talk about why these designs are kind of wrong. The main problem occurs as the print emerges, because it will emerge at about that height. As the paper goes past the front platen, gravity will make it drop, okay? It will drop about a 3/4 of an inch distance, because that's the gap where the paper comes out, and the base of this exit tray drops about 3/4 of an inch. It will cause the paper to drop, of course, with the weight, as you can see. Okay, what happens to that edge? Well, it's like a seesaw. As the paper gets near the edge, there's really minimal support by the front platen rollers. It literally will pivot. It will literally pivot. Okay, I wish you could see that happening. It would pivot, and of course, what happens to this edge? It pivots to the top, and it gets hit by the print head. Or worse, it will get struck and cause a pretty massive shift, and then it will continue to print, but off at an angle. I had one of those problems take place when I was testing the very thick and heavy Riverstone satin rag paper from Breathing Color. Nothing to do with the paper, okay? It was just the design of most printers causes the front end, because that paper was a lot heavier, to drop as it emerges. Especially the longer your paper is, the more effect you're going to have, and the higher that trailing edge is going to be brought up. Okay, you would think that would be taken care of. Well, no. I just did this one today, no problem. So apparently semi-gloss from Canon doesn't suffer from that so much. But I'm going to show you a little trick, a very simple trick you can perform in order to at least alleviate or even prevent this from happening. Get a box of paper and just place it on the tray for the time being. It will serve a certain purpose that I'm going to show you. And it will serve to prevent any possible problems, especially printing borderless. You borderless fanatics out there, it will help you prevent any kind of edge artifacts that will be created if you do not do this on certain papers. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can hear, the printer is powering up. The paper is about to feed. Again, I could probably do this on a 13 by 19, which is a longer lengthwise paper, and it would, the effect would be magnified more, but it should work. And I'm just going to demonstrate what you really should be doing. And again, this is something that they should incorporate. This printer output tray is too low. It should be more in line with the height at which the paper emerges through the platen. At your own leisure, go ahead and open up your lid and take a look inside, and you see how the paper emerges. And that's where this take-up tray should be placed at. They are always set too low on every printer that I have owned, and I have owned over 25 printers in my, so far, a lengthy career at photo printing at home. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait until the paper starts to emerge, and I see it right now, and there's about, oh my gosh, there's about an inch gap. So I'm going to go ahead and place that paper tray right there. I just want to align the paper box as the print comes out. And look at that. It's now finally just touching. You see that? The paper hasn't dropped yet, but that's how much of a gap there is. It's crazy. Over an inch, almost an inch. Maybe a little over or under an inch. This will provide support. Support is what you need, so that leading edge never drops and causes that seesaw effect, because the pivot point is at the platen rollers. How come no one's ever thought of this? I just don't get it. I just do not get it. These engineers are brilliant. They should know that this is happening. Boom. Not a single problem with edge, not a single problem with any kind of a head strike at all. And again, head strikes, yeah, I could manually curl that paper before I feed it. But you know what? I don't want to do this just to demonstrate it for you guys, because it could harm my print head. I don't want to do that. So anyway, take that to the bank. In fact, trust me on this. If you do this and you provide perfect external support for your prints, you will hardly ever get any problems. In fact, look at this. This is not quite a zoom to fill. I still have a little white border because of the format of the image itself not quite matching 8 by 10 or 4 by 5 ratio. But there are no artifacts. There are no strikes anywhere to be found. This is something that I've been doing for a long time now. Again, no one ever talks about this. They only complain about the effects of printing borderless. And every time that somebody reports a smudge, a strike, or something like that, they have no clue where it's coming from. I always ask, did you print borderless? And after pulling a few teeth out of the conversation, yeah, that's what they actually did. It finally comes out in the end that that's what they did. So keep that in mind. Again, there's nothing you could do about the design of these output trays. It's just part of the way they are designed. Pro 1, Pro 100, Pro 10, R2880, Pro 3880, 3800, R3000, P800, all of those printers that I have, the same situation. The same situation. It's almost like they know it will cause problems. Well, we'll just give you a little notice when you print borderless so that you're aware of what could happen, instead of telling you what to do, or instead of just designing this a little bit different so that the output tray actually supports the paper 100% as it is coming out, so that it does not tilt in any way. That is it for now. I hope you enjoy this. Tonight, we're having our live stream at 5 o'clock. That is Eastern Standard Time, United States. I did this to accommodate the European viewers. It's not going to help my Australian viewers, but the last couple of times, I think I only had one Australian, and I actually had many more people from Europe as a whole, especially the UK and even India. I had a young man that stayed up half the night to listen to the live stream, and I appreciate that. So I'm doing this just as a test. Don't think it's going to be permanent. I will continue to do my 6 o'clock if that turns out to be better. If this brings in more people, then I will probably go ahead and shift to 5 o'clock. Okay, that means I'll be able to finish by 8, which is a little bit better for me and the family. By the way, guys, next week, Nathan, all week long, I'm going to try. I will not promise, but I'm going to try to sneak in some videos. I got to find some more themes to talk about, such as this one here. This is actually quite serious if you really think about it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We hit 24,000 plus subscribers to the channel. I'm still getting, just so you guys know, I'm still getting about a 73, 4, 5% to 25% ratio of unsubscribed viewers. So 75% of the views come from unsubscribed viewers. Hey, you guys who land on this channel, if you like this content and it is helpful to you, don't go away. Please subscribe. That'll help us grow even more, and I'll be able to do even more for you guys, the home photo printing community. Thank you so much. Happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.